Hey, good evening, everyone. Welcome to our Snowboard Freeski Info session. Again, apologies about the technical difficulties we had a couple weeks ago when we had this the more uh, full session. But we're going to give people about another minute or two to log on, and then we'll go ahead and kick things off. I know, a couple coaches and a couple other people who work with USCSA. Hopefully, we'll get one person from USASA to join as well. Um, but yeah, so we'll give it about one more minute and then we'll go ahead and start up. All right, well, without further ado, I know everyone, it's the evening for most people, so I don't want to take too much time. We'll probably have a few more people trickle in and out. Before we get started, though, I did want to introduce Phil to everyone. Phil is the Rocky Mountain Series Director for USASA, so he can be a good resource for any questions we get for that. Also on the call, we have Doug Grayson, who is our USCSA Vice President of Conferences. Is that correct, Doug? That's your current position? Yep. Then we have AJ, who's a coach up in Minnesota, and Aaron Moss, who is a coach in North Carolina. So with that, Doug, and Sarah, who's the coach for Westminster University as well. So definitely a lot of good coaching and snowboard freeski experience on the call. And with that, Doug, I think I'll turn it over to you to kind of moderate the Q&As.
Perfect. Thanks so much, Jay. And thanks to those of you who were able to jump on a second time and do this one again. We had good conversation the first time. It wasn't necessarily super snowboard free ski based, but we're really happy to answer any questions you might have. Like Jay said, we have a lot of experience here on the line in terms of club coaches, varsity coaches, uh, representation from USASA. So please feel free to jump in if anybody has a question.
I might jump in. I don't have a question.
You
But
don't.
since we are recording this and putting it on the USCSA website, if we don't have anyone bold enough to ask a question from the outset, I wonder if we want to have everybody maybe speak about their program a little bit as a kickoff, and then it's something that we can distribute to people who were timid to speak up or weren't able to join. How do you feel about that?
I'm perfectly okay with that. Who
I'll
would
let
like
you.
to start? Anybody would like to start? Or else I'm going to call on somebody.
Doug, why
I'll
don't
go
you?
ahead.
Oh, go ahead, Aaron.
So my name is Aaron Moss, coach of the Lees McRae Collegiate Ski and Snowboard team. We're located in Banner Elk, North Carolina. So we have our home mountain at Beach Mountain Resort, which is just 6 miles off campus. The other direction, 6 miles, we have Sugar Mountain Resort. For our program, we have a little bit of everything. So men's and women's, alpine ski, snowboard freestyle, free ski. We don't have Nordic at our school. And for our program, we are a varsity sport. I started this program 10 years ago, and we were a club sport for 8 years. We're now a varsity sport, fully funded by the school, have athletic and academic scholarships for the school. Our school itself is a small private school in the mountains of Western North Carolina, about 930 students. So we don't have every academic discipline that a large university would have, but that's why we specifically focus on more of the outdoor sports, outdoor majors, wildlife rehab, wildlife bio, outdoor recreation management, which is one of the awesome things about our school and our program is that we actually 3 years 3 years ago, we developed a ski industry minor program. The director of that outdoor recreation management program asked me what she could possibly do to help the athletic team, and I said, get a ski industry major. And she said, how about a minor first? So we have a ski industry minor program where, so through that program, about half of my team are either certified national ski patrollers, instructors, or actually United States ski and snowboard team coaches by the time they graduate. Along with that, what's awesome is I also work at Beach Mountain Resort. And in the main lodge, along with that ski industry minor program, we have a classroom in the main lodge and also a team room there. So one of the things that's pretty neat is we're about to do a day in the life of one of our athletes, and some of them literally wake up in the morning on their dorm, drive up to the resort, work, go to class, practice, and then drive back home at 9 o'clock at night and go back to bed in their dorm. But they just spent their whole academic and athletic day at the ski resort. Um, so a little bit about what we do or what we have done. So I mentioned we participate in just about every discipline. And in the last, but we've focused our primary level of success in snowboard. In the last 4 years, we have 12 national titles, a couple of individual national champions. And we practice 3 nights a week at the ski resort. We're there. It's awesome. They allow us to shut down a slope every evening for 3 hours just so we can practice on it. One of our recent alum just graduated is now our park director. So it's pretty nice to be able to have some influence there. And 4 of our current freshmen are actually on the park crew this year. So one of the things that I like to say is that regardless of your skill level or ability, you can find a home at Lee's McRae. And one of the things that we always try to do, or what I always want to do, I just want to find those high school student athletes that just have a passion for the sport. They just love to ski. They love to snowboard. I don't care if they've ever competed before. After 4 years practicing 3-4 nights a week for 4 years, they're gonna be good. There's just no other way to look at it. But beyond that, they may not be competing for the rest of their life, but hopefully after they graduate, what they really want to do is go find a ski town somewhere in the mountains, somewhere in the world, and work and live. And that's what we're always looking for. And it's one of the things that we strive for as far as just being able to place those individuals, graduate from Lee's McRae College. Maybe or maybe not, you're a national champion, but you also will have a degree in ski industry minor. You will probably be certified in some position or job that a ski resort will use. And it's a pretty easy way to be able to get a first-time job right out of college at some ski resort all the way across the country. And competing in USCSA has been awesome for us last 10 years, let alone last 4. But some of our athletes also compete in both USASA and also on some of the FIS NORAM circuits. We have a flexible academic schedule. So one of our freshmen this year is actually on the U.S. junior team, and we'll be traveling all around North America to compete on the NORAM circuit as well as compete at USCSA. So they're in a hybrid academic situation. So they take a lot of their classes online, and then they finish in April and May, pretty much all on campus in person. So that was something that's pretty neat that we were able to establish here at Lee's McRae, and we're always looking for the next group of freshmen to come in. Thank you very much for this time. And if anybody has any questions, you can always contact me. You can look up my email is maasa@lmc.edu. You can always feel free to reach out to me, and I'll help answer any questions you might have, regardless of whether it's about the team or not. This is just something that was along with a lot of other people on this call right now. We just love what we do, and this is what we do all the time. And if you have any questions, everybody on this panel is a pretty good resource for any answers you may be looking for. Thank you very much for the time.
Thanks, Aaron. Appreciate that description. Is excellent way to kick it off. I'll send it over to Sarah if you want to give a little background, because you're in a similar situation, but on the west side of the country. So if you want to give us a little background on what you're doing out at Westminster.
Sure, I'll keep it pretty brief. We have a lot of information on our website as well. So I'm at Westminster University out in Salt Lake City, Utah, right at the base of the Rockies. We have a varsity level snowboard and free ski program. On snowboard, we do alpine and freestyle, and then obviously free ski as well. And we carry rosters of 8 on men and women on each of those teams. And varsity, as Aaron already described, means that we're funded by the school, have support from the school with sports medicine and academics, things like that. We also have athletic and academic scholarships available to our students. Varsity also means that we pay for everything. So when we travel, it's paid. We pay for dues, registrations, comp fees, things like that. Let's see. We compete in the USCSA, obviously. We also have athletes that are also competing on World Cup, Rev Tour, Futures Tour tours this year. And we are also hosting an event here right in our backyard at Brighton Resort this year. So that'll be a lot of fun. And trying to think what else. We are really backed by the university. They are focusing on mountain sports, and we are a mountain sports university. They are dedicated to that. We also do a lot of other things at our university as well, but they are dedicated to mountain sports. And so our club programs support that as well. Our academics and our student activities on campus. This year, starting fall of 26, incoming freshmen all get a ski pass or snowboard pass to Brighton Resort. So that's exciting news. We're partnered with a lot of resorts in the area. We have 9 ski resorts within 30 minutes of campus. We train at Woodward Park City, which is only 20 minutes from campus, right up the canyon from us. We're a small liberal arts school. We have about 3,000 on campus, including grad students. So our average school or class size is about 10 to 12, and we will and can hold hands if needed. So we can help you through academics. There's a lot of tutoring, things like that, or it can be, real autonomous as well. So there's a lot of opportunities. We have a lot of great majors, everything from business leading into an MBA to pre-med and all of our sciences. We have a huge environmental science and outdoor leadership program that's really robust. They do a lot of research out at the Great Salt Lake and also with the ski resorts around the area, and avalanche programs and things like that. So a lot of fun there. Trying to think what else we missed. Aaron does such a great job on his presentations. Aaron, what am I missing? I'm just joking. We have a lot of fun out at Westminster. So if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. My contact information is on the USCSA website as well, or it's sbodry@westminsteru.edu. Also, westminsteru.edu. If you search for mountain sports, we have a lot of information on the website there. And you can also find our athletics information at westminstergriffins.com.
And I think one of the exciting things that Sarah's doing this year is hosting an event, like she said, at Brighton, that is not just open to USCSA already registered athletes, but any athlete that's currently a college student. Definitely want to get their feet wet into USCSA, see what it's all about. And it's a good opportunity, and we hope to continue that in the future.
Yeah, really trying to grow the sport out here in the West. And when I say grow the sport, I mean grow the collegiate side of it. We should have so many more than we do. So come join us. And I will also say, maybe people watching, if you want to do Instagram instead, we're at WU Ski and Board on Instagram.
Sarah's also being modest. Westminster was also just named again this year as a proud collegiate partner of US Ski and Snowboard team.
That is very true. Yeah. So anybody on the US team does have an academic partnership at Westminster University. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you for that, Aaron. Yeah.
So lots of opportunities, and it just keeps growing in snowboard, free ski on our side of things. So those athletes that are coming up through ASA, and we'll jump to Phil here in a second, see what he's seeing from USASA side of things. And they definitely have a home at the collegiate ranks as well. So Phil, you want to give a little background on how USASA is growing and what the potential is there from not just a collegiate standpoint, but how they get to the collegiate side of things?
Yeah, no, I definitely had a couple of questions, and I'm excited to be here and just kind of see the way everybody's interacting. So thank you so much for having me. I mean, honestly, USASA, we are a grassroots organization. We hold ourselves to the same standards as US Ski and Snowboard, and obviously then FIS. so we serve all ages, including collegiate athletes. I know a variety. The really fun part about USASA is under all of these national standards, we do have liberties given to every individual series to partner with a variety of different organizations. And so that really changes depending on your region there. And I think the Collegiate Pathways presentation that was shared with me does a good job of outlining all of that, where we are producing countless events across the country, across a variety of different series. Everybody kind of gets to organize that how they see best. And we have frequently seen USCSA compete in our series. And ultimately, our main goal is to enforce the standard for athletes coming through our program to then feel comfortable moving into the FIS realm. Couple of years ago, we introduced futures tours for those athletes that are really looking to step up. And then from there, obviously, they go into the NORAM circuits with the Rev Tour, and then they're off at the Grand Prix. So we definitely graduate plenty of athletes through our program to do that. And a huge part of that level of competition and creating that vibe that we are going for just to increase the stoke and maintain that professionalism comes with a lot of the college athletes that we do see in all of our series.
Thanks, Phil. And I think it's important to mention that while USASA operates independently from USCSA, as Phil said, we're all sharing hill space with each other. We do know each other very well. Obviously, I know Aaron and the guys. I probably didn't mention this in the beginning, but I'm from Virginia. I'm from the Southeast and the Southeast Conference Coordinator for USCSA. So I work closely with Aaron and the teams down in North Carolina and the Virginia teams in USASA to put on our freestyle events here in the Southeast. So
Yeah.
without that collaboration, I would be short on judges, honestly, and other resources. So it's a great partnership that we see with USASA, with CUS Ski and Snowboard, and that helps put on this presentation here today.
Yeah, and I think you definitely touched on something that I definitely wanted to be mentioning. Just it's those areas for collaboration for sure that help keep everybody's expenses down there. And I know plenty of series do collaborate with USCSA, and they will share judges or they will share hill space, just exactly like you mentioned. And there's always a home in USASA for athletes that want to be kind of competing, or they still want to be in the competitive environment, but maybe they've decided that that's not necessarily for them. Well, come be a USASA official, come be a USCSA official, join in as a judge, join in. I mean, you get to see so many different aspects, just working with these two organizations for sure, where we always have a home for athletes that are looking to do something a little bit different.
Yeah, that's a great point. Always looking for volunteers, always looking for officials in both of these organizations. So if you're still looking for hill time, the opportunity is out there. If you know any parents or friends that would like that hill time, we can definitely provide that to them in the form of volunteerism, and we appreciate those volunteers greatly. I'm going to give AJ a spot here to talk. AJ, correct me if I'm wrong, a little more club based, right? Than the two varsity coaches we've talked to so far.
Yes, University of Minnesota Duluth is a club team, so our athletes pay their way through the events. We do have some school support, but mainly I do the conference coordinating for the Midwest, so all the weekend races and snowboard freeski events. I guess one thing, I know we kind of mentioned earlier, but the USCSA is a team-based event house. Where USASA is the individual results. Same with all the other forms of racing you've had until college, basically, are on an individual basis. And think one of the main aspects I like the most about it is the team-based aspect of it. I mean, at our nationals, yes, we have the first through 10th place, but at the end of the day, it's about getting the team score up and getting the overall team points. So at UMD as a club team, again, our athletes pay their way through it. But we also we got free ski, snowboard, and mostly or mainly alpine race. But what I like is our alpine racers, every college kid has a pair of twin tips or powder skis too. So everyone kind of does. I'll set up my events kind of during the lunchtime and have all our athletes. They'll compete their first run, and then we'll all go to the terrain park right around lunchtime and knock out a slope style or a rail jam, big air. Being in the Midwest and reliant past few years on snowmaking, each event it's kind of don't really know the events until we get to the hill some weekends, and I know Doug has experienced that at a few of his resorts over the past years too. But we try to run a skier cross at every weekend that we can, as well as every hill can get a rail jam together, which is pretty nice. But we've had some pretty big slope style ones the past couple of years, and yeah, just enjoy getting out there with all the kids adults, young adults, and setting up these events and just making it fun. Not the pressure that they have of being at the Rev Tour or one of the bigger events. Just trying to make it a fun time. Yeah.
Perfect. Thanks so much, AJ. Yeah, I mean, I think it's important that you touch on cross too. We're all trying to get more cross involved. It is an up and coming sport. We do see it, we do hear it, and it's a negotiation with mountains on who will host them and who will have enough snow and who will push the snow around for us. But we definitely hear that on the cross front because everybody loves a good skier or border cross. And we know there are many athletes out there that are focused entirely on that sport. So very important. So with that being said, we'll open it up to questions now. See if anybody has any questions on those for our speakers this evening.
Hi, this is Hannah Muskier. I'm sorry, my camera's off. I'm in the car and it's dark. My daughter Audrey is actually on the call too, but we really just actually heard about your organization more today. She's a junior at Killington Mountain School of Vermont, and this year is doing the Rev Tour events, and she's kind of working her way up. But we just wanted to know her options for college. She does want to go to a 4-year institution, and so we were just excited to know that there are possibilities out there. It did look like from a club level, if that's where she ends up someday, that most of those colleges are on the West Coast for slopestyle and rail jam. Is that correct, or am I not correct in that?
So when you look, the primary for USCSA, I can speak on USCSA's behalf. Primary focus right now for that type of event for slopestyle rail jam has been in the East, the Southeast, the Midwest, and the Southwest. The West is, as we said earlier in this conversation, starting their events up, and we hope to build that to a new large area of the country for those kinds of sports right now. But those are the primary focuses right now in terms of what events have been run. Not saying what can or cannot happen in the future, of course. We're certainly trying to put those resources in place.
Right.
And
Great.
one quick, sorry, go ahead. Go ahead, Shannon.
Oh, no, I just said thank you so much.
Well, one thing to add to that too, though, USCSA, we currently have about 100 and, correct me if I'm wrong, Megan, about 160 institutions from coast to coast, spread across 11 different conferences. If your daughter goes to a school that doesn't currently have a team, that's fine. We can certainly help you start one. As Phil mentioned, even if the conference doesn't necessarily host events yet, which we're getting to the point where almost all USCSA conferences are starting to host them with a couple exceptions. But even if they don't, we do partner with USASA, where an athlete from a team or an entire team can go to USASA events and use that as a qualification to get to either regionals or nationals as well. So I wouldn't necessarily limit yourself to just the schools that currently have teams. Certainly do reach out to coaches if there is a team like Westminster or Lees McRae that you're interested in. But if your daughter really wants to go to a different school for a certain academic program or some other reason, we're here to support her and any other student with whatever their endeavors are.
And if she does end up wanting to go straight to college as opposed to taking a gap year, depending on how things play out with her for her current competition, is there a resource to find out which schools would be on a quarter system or something where she would still be able to compete at a high level in snowboarding? Is that something that's out there? Or we just have to contact schools she's interested in and see if they would allow for that?
Yeah, Shannon and Audrey, I'll hop in. This is Sarah from Westminster University. A lot of our athletes are still competing at high levels, and we just make it work with the schedule. So, for example, we have a skier right now that's doing Rev Tour and World Cup. And when I was recruiting him and when we were talking, I just let him know like the minimum amount of collegiate competitions we would need him to do, understanding that naturally there's going to be some overlap in collegiate and World Cup or Rev Tour. And we talked about like the minimum amount of team trainings that he would need to be at. And so far it's worked beautifully. It's going to take a lot of communication, but we do it and our athletes do it a lot. So it's definitely possible.
Thank you.
I'll also put a plug in here. There's also a couple of different independent online schools that are not necessarily specific to snow sports, but like just specific to athletes that are graduated high school and are interested in going pro in something, but also still want to get a collegiate degree. And so there's several different programs that are online that student athletes can take classes online. They have online professors, and they're still belong, like in our scenario, to a winter club somewhere and are competing maybe on the Rev Tour, maybe on USASA or wherever they might be. So that's just another option you can do.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Any other questions that we can answer here? Sounds good.
Well, can I quickly seed in a question that I've heard from others? So we get a lot of questions, especially at the snowboard freeski level, where I'll just say the pathway is not as clearly as defined as maybe Alpine or Nordic. But if we do have a high level athlete who wants to make a varsity program, what would be some of the metrics that our varsity coaches will be looking for? Sort of like competition results, anything that you look for in an athlete, Sarah or Aaron, when you're recruiting someone?
I'll jump in here real quick. And I'm sure Sarah will probably say something along the same lines, but riding with them, sharing a chairlift and going out. I have athletes all winter long that come up. So one of the nice things, just like Sarah says, they've got a relationship with their local mountains. So I get a ticket for whomever that wants to come up. If they're interested in coming to Lees McRae, they let me know. We set up a day, get them a lift ticket, and we make laps. And that is the single best way to get to know an athlete, and for an athlete to get to know a coach and a program. That's the best way. But also in this day and age, one thing that's super useful is video. Pretty much all high school athletes, they're snowboarders, skiers, free skiers, anything, they've got clips of themselves. Sending those clips to coaches. Coaches would like to see what these potential recruits are doing currently and seeing what they might have as far as skills and abilities for future progress. But for me, it's spending time with them. getting out there and sharing a chairlift.
It's interesting you say that because what we hear from the Nordic and Alpine side is a lot of results, a lot of points, a lot of structure in that way. And while those competition results are still out there from the snowboard free ski side of things, uh, it sounds like a more personal relationship and even a free form relationship in sending those videos. Sarah, did you have something to add?
Yeah, I'll say we do it a couple different ways. We do like to hear competition results. It'll tell me a lot depending on where you're competing at and what circuit you're competing on. Also what you've done in the past. And if needs be, we'll call and talk to a coach, but that's really rare. Competition results speak a lot. Also, if possible, we love to have you come see campus, ideally during the winter months when you can come do a training session with us, just get on hill. A lot of that is, yes, to see how you ride or ski, but also to see how you gel with the team. What's your personality like? And if you kind of fit the vibe and the culture of what we have going on. A big part for me is I want to hear from the athlete. So if you reach out or if I reach out, I want to be communicating with the athlete. Yes, parents have a role in this as well, but I really want to work with the athlete because that's who I'm going to be working with for the next 4 to 5 years. I want to make sure that they can manage themselves and that they can communicate and stay on top of emails and, you know, make things happen. And I also want to know that, you know, they're going to be a benefit to the team in terms of personality and ability to excel in this academic and athletic situation. So for us, yes, it's athletic ability for sure. And we get a feel for that based on competition results. We also do a lot of film. It's also a lot of like, hey, send me your Instagram, send me your TikTok. Where do you have your film at? Is it on YouTube or where's it at? Initially in those first emails or texts or even Instagram messages, we recruit through Instagram sometimes. You know, it's what are you landing? What are you doing? The great thing is free skiers and snowboarders are prolific content creators. And so there's usually a lot of film like on social media and we'll look at that. And then the other big piece is that personality, fit for the culture, able to manage themselves, communicate piece. So it's definitely more of a holistic approach of, do we want to spend 4 to 5 years with this person? Are they going to benefit the team and not only results, but culture and personality? And, you know, the non-professional way to say that, I guess, is, do I want to spend 10 days in a team house with them at national championships? So yeah, we look at the whole picture.
I'd like to expand on that point that Sarah mentioned. So getting to know somebody, like some alpine ski programs are large, but most snowboard and free ski collegiate programs are small. We're traveling in vans with each other. We're staying in houses, and like she mentioned, at nationals, 10 days in a row. You know, there's a lot that goes into that, and there's definitely opportunities for people that aren't all that good, that have a great personality and want to learn and have great coaches, and we'll get them to that point. But really, you gotta gel. It's a team sport, as Doug said before, or Jay maybe. In USCSA, it's team sport, and so what you do on the snow is just as important as what you do off the snow. And if you're a disruptor and it doesn't work out well, I don't care how good of a free skier you are. If you're not a net benefit to the team, it's probably not going to work out. So being able to understand somebody's personality and know that you're going to gel with that team and make that team stronger is very important.
Excellent description and excellent question from you, Jay. Any other questions that we can answer here? Well, I will, if it's all right, Jay, I'll throw it back over to you and you can wrap it up then. And the resources that were provided, give us a hint of where those are hiding.
Yeah, thanks, Doug, and thanks everyone. Again, really appreciate you all joining, especially with the kind of short notice after we had the technical glitch last time, but we did get this recorded, so we'll definitely be posting this on our website, and feel free to share it with anyone else who you know who was not able to attend. Megan did drop a few links in the chat with some of the websites that we at USCSA host, especially our prospective athlete page, which has a list of our member institutions, how to start pages, how to start a team, where to go to kind of find the teams that currently have varsity programs, stuff like that. And of course, you can always reach out to any of the coaches who are on here or any others that are listed on our website. You can also just email help@uscsa.org. That's our generic email box, and we'll get back to you within a day or so, or direct you to someone who can more correctly answer your question. But with that, I think thank you all for joining. Appreciate the time, and we look forward to hopefully seeing you all at some point this season.
Have a
And
good
the
winter
link-
season.
The link to this recording will be on our prospective athletes page once it's ready.
Great. Well, thank you, everyone. Have a great night.
Thanks,
Thanks.
everyone.